My name is Jack Galati, and I'm the lighting designer for this project. In the very beginning, we have an image of the evil warlord basically giving a monologue about how he's going to come take over the village. So we have very harsh shadows, contrasting light, almost he's silhouetted in the light shining behind him. And then we move on to the protagonist, Deb Wall, appealing to the court, asking for permission to build a giant boat for the villagers to be able to escape. And there we have heavy overlights, spotlights, dim key lights, stuff like that, just to kind of create this eerie feeling of isolation. We move on later to the building of the boat, and here we have a lot of natural sunlight, shadows created by it, almost as if the sun's setting, where the shadows are about the same size as the people in the world. We can move on there to the invasion of the actual village, where it takes place at night and things are mostly lit by fire, as the village is not only being burned down, but fires are being used to keep for light. A lot of harsh contrasting shadows here. As Deb Wall blows up the dam, the sun is high overhead and the wave almost creates an entire shadow over the boat as it's traveling along its way. And then finally, as the villagers arrive to the new land, they're seen almost as explorers with a setting sun, creating a shadow that casts all the way down their body.
Hi, my name is Carson Schilling, and I'm the costume designer for our group. So for some research I did for our three characters, the protagonist, antagonist, and the village woman, I had some examples of a typical kind of peasant man, the peasant woman, and then like a pirate-esque kind of man for the antagonist. And so some of the research I had: green vest, brown pants for the protagonist, very red and black silver colors for the antagonist because he's got the evil, bloody look, and villagers very white and blue because she's like the pure woman. So for my rough sketch for the protagonist, I'm using mostly dark green and tan colors, and so for the final version I ended up using darker green, tans, and browns to show a more earthly feel for his character. And he's holding a pitchfork because he's still like an agricultural farmer in this village. And for the antagonist, I used a lot of red and blue to signify like he's kind of a pirate, but most of it was black and gray to show like the darkness and the villain side of him, and the large sword with blood on it, obviously, because he's the bad guy. And the peasant woman, my original sketch was kind of out of proportion, and I figured that she wouldn't have a hood on because it wasn't practical for their situation. So my final sketch just had her in a simple white, blue, and green dress with a basket, as she is just like a typical peasant woman who works in the village.
I'm Kyle McBreen. I'm the scenic designer for this project. The very first rendering that we have is the rendering of the boat that the village ended up creating, and I drew it. It's made of kind of the same wooden material that the surrounding trees of the village are. The second scenic design that I did was the Paradise Island that they end up on, and it's basically the island that they get drifted off to after the dam breaks. And this island has a very peaceful feel to it. It's very yellow and calming. The third design that I had would be, it's got a house with some of the surrounding trees around it. The house is made of wood because this village really doesn't have a whole lot of money for industrialized things, so it's really a lot of chopping wood to create pretty much everything they have. So their house is made of a very shabby wood and has like a grass ground roof. The final design that I have is the meeting house where they go to talk about their plan when Fritz announces that he's going to attack them. And it's a very stone building. It looks kind of like a stadium, and it's kind of rounded, which gives it that kind of unity feel because everybody by the end of the meeting is kind of unified in the idea that they're going to build this boat and get out of the town.
Hello, my name is Jacob DeLaRocha, and I'm the sound designer for this project. First, we have Deb Wall and Fritz talking. Fritz is threatening the village so I decided to give an evil laugh for Fritz. Second, we have the council meeting amongst all the villagers, so I decided to have a giant group of people talking for the sound. And then third, we have the construction of the boat, so I put construction sounds for that one. Fourth, we have the invasion of the evil army, so I put in medieval siege for the sound. Fifth, we have the death wall exploding the dam, so I gave an explosion sound for that one. Also, there's a raging river sound that comes in partway through that. To the sixth scene, which is wiping out the evil army with the river. Also, there are men screaming sounds for the evil army being wiped out. For the seventh scene, it is the boat floating down the river, so there's a calm river sound. And then eighth, they find safety on an island, so there's a tropical island sound for that one.